Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. We're playing a little Monster Hunter Wilds here.
Shall we begin the search?
I will just do some basic punts from, like, the start of the game, and we'll just mill around so I don't spoil anything. So I just got a new computer, and I just set up OBS in the microphone, so hopefully it sounds okay. I've done this quite a few times now, so it's a fairly streamlined process. I imagine it sounds okay, but you never know. Yeah, it has been quite the week for me. This is one of the longest weeks I think I've ever had in my life. Primarily because on Monday evening, I got ill and became ill. Fucking hell, man. I don't know what exactly the illness was. Other than to say it was some sort of stomach condition. Some sort of stomach condition, and really it was just like stomach cramps, stomach pain, you know, like that and nausea. I threw up a few times, but like not much, and it was mostly just like this malaise and just stomach pain, and it was just never ending. And I ate practically nothing for like 4 days. Just consuming like massive amounts of water, and I just couldn't like do anything. It was uncomfortable to lie down. It was uncomfortable to sit in a chair. The thing that mostly worked for whatever reason was just sitting down in my shower, you know, with the shower on. And just sitting like in the dark with my eyes closed. That's how I spent about half of the week. Sitting down on the floor of my shower with my eyes closed, listening to episodes of The King of Queens. Because I couldn't really watch it, but I could listen. And for a sitcom, that's all you need. So it was really not a good, it was a very long week of mostly that and some small amount of sleep. D&D went great, however, the coordinators and yourself had to gently tell a player to please leave the table. Main character syndrome during play. Uh-oh. This is the one where you have just a boatload of players, right? I guess that's not that unexpected then. So yeah, I'm happy to say that I'm pretty much back to normal now, and I've been eating again, and it's all okay. I suspect it was some sort of stomach bug, stomach flu, but I honestly, we are also kind of pointing to food poisoning, like a horrific bout of it, because a couple weeks ago I was also ill, but it was only for like a night or so, you know, a day. It was a similar kind of thing. And it occurred right after we ate at Qdoba. And I had noted then, while I was eating the burrito, that the chicken looked kind of pink. Seemed maybe a little too pink for my tastes.
Commencing quest now.
I don't really need any amount of pink in my chicken. This was a little much. And then I went back to Qdoba Monday, right before I got ill, and I got the same thing. Because I'm smart like that. So, for now, we're just not going to go back to Qdoba. Dominating this thing. Oh, God. Sorry, I can't even... It didn't help being sick and just wanting to play Monster Hunter, but I couldn't really, like... Well, I needed to record part of it, and I couldn't really record much. And then I couldn't really sit in a chair at a desk, and I don't have, like, a couch set up for my computer. So it was just... Yeah, it's a rough week. 6 people with autism, mostly nonverbal. D&D is being used to help them with speech therapy. Cannot have one person disrupt the process. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I mean, you don't even want a person like that normally, so... See ya. Oh my god, you didn't die from that. Shocking. Anyways, we're back to normal. I'm ready to record a bunch of Monster Hunter. It's all good. But, being ill did make for a really shitty week for working. Especially because the video this week ended up being about an hour and 20 minutes long. And I wanted to just die. Just wanted to die. That is way too long of a video normally. let alone when I have, like, food poisoning. So there were multiple days where I just couldn't even write the script. There was just nothing. It was just nothing. And so I just kept on hoping that it would clear up, and I'd be like, okay, I'll buckle down, we'll buckle down. And then, you know, Friday came and the script wasn't even done, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to tell patrons that it's not coming out today for sure, you know. I'll get it out when I can, and then time ticked on. And so now I spent pretty much all day today not playing Monster Hunter, but finishing the video. Because I just can't... I can't delay it, you know. I can't miss a week of just like, there's no upload this week. I can't do that. Doesn't just, no. Just no. And I couldn't, like, say, oh, well, the video is going to be out on Tuesday this week, because then that impacts the next video, you know, and then I have to work double time on the next video, and I miss, it's just, no, I gotta just get it fucking done. So I did. It's done. You're happy that they're very verbal despite autism, but they were all warned that D&D has been used for therapy, and any acts of disruption will lead to them being removed. Yeah, well, then, you know, that's how it goes. I'm glad it went well otherwise. D&D is, it's pretty fantastic. I mean, not D&D specifically, of course. Well, depends on the edition, I suppose. But tabletop RPGs, very good. So yeah, the video got done. Hour and 20 minutes. I'm not especially happy with it, but it's done, and we're gonna move on with our lives, and that's the end of the story. So I think then, because of all that, I think part 5 is going to be a shorter part. And then there'll be a long part 6. And that'll give me kind of a week to recover here without going overboard. Boom. This off. Yeah, it's hard to think, actually, when you're playing Monster Hunter, turns out. I don't know how I do this normally. Switch axe, man. I'm really digging it this time. We managed to get through Phandelver in 3 hours. We're now in the intro to Tomb of Annihilation just before going to Chult. Okay, well, you're thrown into some thick shit there, aren't you? I don't know why I keep latching on. Not what I should do there. Damn, dude. Butchered. So this week on this channel, obviously, the game that I can keep focusing on, Monster Hunter. There's gonna be plenty of that. I'm continuing to upload solo role manging just because I have fucking 60 videos of it to do. And I always like bouncing between two different games or whatever series. So that's gonna be on the docket for weeks of Monster Hunter and solo RPGs. Get used to it. Then on Two Brothers Play, we were gonna do Neverwinter Nights. And I did buy the enhanced edition because I really want to do a solo playthrough of it sometime. But the new game from the It Takes Two devs,
I promise. Come and speak to me.
Split Fiction, is coming out on Thursday or Friday, and we're both pretty interested in that. So we didn't really want to start Neverwinter Nights because we figured that would be like multiple weeks or whatever just to go through like the initial campaign of that or whatever. So we decided to just do a short archipelago, and then next Saturday we're gonna start Split Fiction. I saw that it's like $50, which seems kind of insane. I don't know. I remember It Takes Two. One person could buy it, and then two people could play off that copy, even online. So maybe a similar thing for Split Fiction, which would help a lot. Because Lego also wants to buy Monster Hunter, but that's $70. That's a lot of money. A lot of money, man. They said the game was easy, so you kind of became the evil DM. Coordinators are inviting professional artists to draw the players' characters, and if they clear the TOA, they will post it on the website for the organization. Huh. It's pretty cool. Depending on the party composition, Neverwinter Nights could even take years. The first, like, campaign module or whatever? Because I heard playing co-op or whatever, it's, like, pretty easy. And everyone said to bump up the difficulty. And we were going to play with the PRC mod, which adds, like, fucking everything from 3rd edition. And we were looking at characters and stuff like that, and it seemed pretty cool. Obviously, I played a lot of Wrath of the Righteous and stuff, so it's kind of in that ballpark. We'll get to it eventually, but it's hard, you know, who knows when. Maybe after Split Fiction. We'll see. But usually we like to crawl back to Archipelago constantly. So yeah, Split Fiction then on next Saturday, if anyone's going to be interested in seeing that as like a full playthrough kind of thing. Oh, way too far away. How did he get up there? What a fuckface. Yeah, and that's gonna be that. Over on the Exploring series, yeah, part 3 of Black Adatum, part 4 next week, all that stuff, so on and so forth. No surprises going on there. Part 5, part 6, blah, blah, blah. Fucker! Yeah.
Looks like the monster dropped something.
That's all that. Not much to say. With my RPG session last night, you know, we were doing Red Hand of Doom. It was not going particularly well. We had already lost 2 players who were just kind of over how much combat was involved and things like that. And they had skipped over chapter 3 of Red Hand of Doom entirely. Partly my own fault. I accept culpability there. But yeah, it was just not, the vibes were not good and strong at the moment with Red Hand of Doom. And I had already knew that after Red Hand of Doom, I was going to move to Tales of Argosa, back to kind of an OSR mentality, a feeling campaign and stuff like that. Miss me, dude. Monster Hunter Wilds is pretty great so far, but sadly they're banking on title updates to fill the roster completely because it has less monsters on base game than any other Monster Hunter game so far. I recall a very similar sentiment. I think the same sentiment being said about Monster Hunter World. And that was the best Monster Hunter game so far. So I'm not overly concerned. Especially with how slow I'm going currently. But I agree that that is somewhat of a concern depending on the rate they release it and things like that. But right now I'm having a blast with it. So I'm enjoying it so much more than I enjoyed Rise. The only thing I wish they had kind of learned from Rise and stuck with was the multiplayer system. I'm not doing any multiplayer yet until I beat the game and everything, but I know Lego and I are going to play together at some point, and I have some other friends who would want to play. And from what I understand, it's pretty shit, just like World. So that's a bummer. World had 43 on launch base game. Wilds has 27. World had 43 large monsters on launch? That seems astronomically large. This says there were 30 at launch. And this says it had 36. So I don't know. This says the world had 30 at launch, 36 at its end. Nowhere do I see 43, so I don't know where you ever got that number unless you're including, like, Iceborne as well. But, yeah, the numbers I'm seeing is mostly, like, 30 at launch. Small monsters count. What? No, they don't. No one gives a shit about small monsters. Why would I care about small monsters? You could remove every small monster that's ever been added to every Monster Hunter ever to exist, and I would feel just the same about the series. So, do not include that in your number. So Wilds, including small monsters, you're saying has 27? Because this says there's 29 large monsters and 18 small monsters. I don't know, Smart J. I think you're throwing out a lot of strange numbers here. You want to go back to your calculator for a bit. Anyways, where was it? Yeah, so I wanted to switch to Tales of Argosa after Red Hand of Doom, and then based on just, like, the fact that they were at the big battle already, skipped the whole chapter, morale was low, things were not looking good. Things were not looking good. So I just said, fuck it, let's just ditch that, and we're gonna switch to Tales of Argosa now. So we did.
That looks like a good place.
And I decided to,
It's risky, but I could set up camp here.
instead of, launching right into some level 1 adventure, try something that we haven't done before, and that is run a funnel adventure at level 0 with a whole big pack of peasants. So they were definitely very apprehensive at the start of the session. It was a new system. They were doing this new format with a bunch of peasants, and they were all going to die, and they were all very concerned that they were just going to die, and blah, blah, blah. And they had no abilities, no power, nothing. I was like, look, it's going to be good. Trust me, do not fret about dying at all. Every time I ever play in a funnel at a convention, I lose all my characters. I die constantly. That's part of the experience. Do not be ashamed or embarrassed if you die constantly. So, they were hamming it up as peasants. Lego did his best to, like, peon from Warcraft impression constantly. And I ran them through Sailors on the Starless Sea. Rather than the funnel adventure that was written for Tales of Argosa, which I did solo, and you'll see me do eventually. I just think Sailors on the Starless Sea is really evocative. It's really like a pretty great kind of funnel adventure, all in all. Very climactic conclusion and everything, and very exciting. So I ran them through that. I didn't take monsters from Tales of Argosa. I just ran monsters as is. But I mean, it's all pretty standard numbers. It's like, if you hit them, they're gonna die. If they hit you, you're gonna die. That's kind of how it is. So nothing too complicated. And they had a blast. They definitely lost a lot of peasants. Not as many as I thought, because Tales of Argosa is kind of nice when it comes to, like, or how I adjudicate certain, like, checks and stuff like that. And they weren't overly adventurous. The big thing that could have been their downfall was the Leviathan in the underground lake. Because they did not get the incense to burn to placate it. And they ended up sacrificing one of their peasants in like a sort of a ritualized sacrifice to the Leviathan. And I'm like, okay. My mom and my aunt were not for that plan, but my brother and nephew very much were. And it was my nephew's character that he was sacrificing, so they were like, okay. And the module does specify that that plan can work, so I was like, all right, but it, like, the characters that end up making it out are, like, damned to serve the Chaos Gods. I decided to remove that because they ended up defeating the Chaos effigy thing at the end. I was like, okay, it sort of neutralizes each other.
Bet I can set up camp there.
But, yeah, so that they could have lost, like, everybody there. But they didn't. They snuck up to the top of the ziggurat, and they shoved the Chaos Shaman into the pit, and they fought off the big guy, and my mom had taken a skull from the pool of water earlier, not by choice, but she did, and, you know, basically indicated to her to throw it at the guy, and she rolled like a crit when she threw it at the Chaos Lord. So, yeah, everyone was really happy. And they sailed out of there on their new ship, and it was all very, it was like the Goonies, you know, it was very exciting. And they were quite pleased. So, they weren't down to, like, their last guy. My nephew was. He only had one choice. Everyone else, I think, had 2 or 3 characters to choose from. So it wasn't that desolate of, like, a meat grinder for them. But, you know, everyone lost some characters, and they were happy with how it went. And, you know, they told me multiple times afterwards how much fun it was. So, and then we kind of got started converting them to level 1 characters, but it was running late, so there's more to go over next time. And next, I am going to be running them through the Evils of Ilmire, because it just got updated to, like, a new printing, a new edition, and they put out a new kind of print-on-demand for it, which Amazon shipped very quickly, even though I thought it was print-on-demand. Shipped in, like, 2 days. And it looks good, and I think it'll be fun, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Dragon Ball news, Vegeta decides to name his obvious Super Saiyan 3 form Super Ultra Vegeta 1 because he doesn't want to give Goku credit for discovering it, lol. That sounds pretty on brand, I suppose. Yeah, I haven't watched Daima yet. I'm looking forward to it at some point. I did see the whole Super Saiyan 4 thing, which is pretty wild. But yeah, whenever that broadcasts in English fully, that's when I'll watch it. I don't, maybe it's already done. I don't know. I don't know. So that's all that. That's what's happening with that.
Find her. I promise.
So, more Monster Hunter Wilds this week. More solo role manging as I play through that a generic hex crawl in Shadow of the Weird Wizard. That's like the bulk of the videos, really. I played it quite a bit. And then on the Exploring series, Black Atom Part 4. Toriyama's take on Super Saiyan 4 is great, but infuriating. It needs Demon World energy to activate. Oh. Well, he can't really change it now, Smart J. Anyways, my name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. And I'll see you fine folks next week.